Hi, I'm Todd Wente, and this is the Daily 180, 180 seconds of motivation and inspiration intended to help you take action and make progress in your life. This is episode 522 of the Daily 180, and we're going to be talking today a little bit of an extension of what we were talking about in the last one when we were talking about, how do you avoid having a bad day? We talked about the idea that you never claim a bad day. You can always reframe that as a learning experience. You can always reframe it as a character building day. You can always reframe it in some way that gives you an opportunity to move forward and find a way to make progress in spite of that. But what happens when you're in a situation where you've had multiple days that have all been character building days and things just aren't any better? No matter what you do, the progress that you're making is being outstripped by the challenges that you're facing. We've all had situations like this where, you know what, despite the best efforts that we have, things just don't pull through. Maybe it's a failed marriage. Maybe it's or another significant relationship that's failed. Maybe a business has caved in on us. Maybe we've lost a significant job that we've been working for. We lost a client that we were building toward, or we've missed some opportunities. Guess what? In all cases except the marriage, I've had those. I've had a business fail. We've actually had two businesses that have just failed, shuttered them, put them away, and there's nothing you can do about it. I've had some significant relationships that I have lost along the way, and that I wasn't sure if I was ever going to be able to repair them and get them back to where they needed to be. I've had many opportunities that I look back on and I say to myself, well, I missed those opportunities. I've had all of those, as have, I'm sure, most of you, and if not you, then somebody that you know. So how do you handle that? Well, I've got three tips that can allow us to work on this. Tip number one, learn the lesson. In every one of those situations, there is a lesson to be learned. In a failed relationship, maybe it's the way that we handled the person. In a job, maybe it's the way that we handled priorities or the way that we worked with our manager. Or maybe it's just not reading the indications, the writing on the wall about what was going on in the company well enough to know that the place was falling apart, right? Whatever the situation is, learn the lesson. And if necessary, write that lesson down, put it someplace, create a kind of a rule for yourself that you can say, I'm never going to do that again. Second tip that is, I think, critically important, look forward. I think about when I climb mountains, when I go hiking and all of those kinds of things. If am spending my time looking backwards, if I'm trying to hike a mountain facing backwards, I'm not going to get anywhere. And let's face it, just walking backwards is going to be hard, right? Bumping into doors, bumping into other people. You can't walk backwards, much less climb a mountain. And if we're going to make progress in our lives, that's a lot more likely to be more like a mountain than it is just walking a flat piece of road. You need to be turned around and looking where it is that you're going, not looking in the back. Yes, learn the lesson, but then if you want to move forward, you got to look forward. You have to move on from that situation. And number three, give yourself a little bit of time. Sometimes the best thing to do is to hold still. Give yourself some time to grieve. Give yourself some time to recognize that, yeah, this wasn't necessarily the best thing. And then move on. And maybe I should have said, give yourself some time, learn the lesson, and then move on. It's up to you to decide how you want to order those things. But one way or another, those three tips can help you handle any kind of major setback and get yourself going where you can make some progress again. If this has been useful, if you'd like to explore these a little bit more, give me a comment in the comment section and we'll explore this a little bit more in detail, maybe taking each one of those a little bit longer. In the meantime, hopefully you can share this with other people if it's going to be beneficial. Maybe you can hit the button to subscribe and the bell to be notified when we're releasing more of these videos. In the meantime, this has been the Daily 180. My name is Todd Wente. Go forth and conquer. We'll see you next time.